What a talker. In our Health Edge tonight, scientists have made a groundbreaking discovery that could determine the gender of your baby.
Our chief health editor, Dr. Bartha Nandy, joins us with these developments. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So it turns out you don't need to rely on an old wives' tale to predict the gender of your baby. So over 1,400 women in China had health factors taken into consideration before they became pregnant. Now these include blood pressure, weight, cholesterol levels, and whether or not they smoked. The only health factor that seemed to matter, and it's going to be surprising when it came to determining the sex of a baby, was the mother's blood pressure.
Okay, now how does this affect the baby's sex? It just doesn't seem like
Curtis
it
and I
would.
talked before, and we were debating because Curtis
He's a
drinks
skeptic.
bourbon. Yes, and so women who delivered boys often had higher blood pressure before they conceived compared to women who had girls. Now this is a very interesting study, and I want to point out that more research is needed to support these results, but really pretty provocative.
So can you actually change your blood pressure to try to,
I'm
if you
glad
want
you
a
asked that
girl,
question.
have a girl?
Please do not try to change your blood pressure in order to have a boy so your blood pressure is sky high. So just keep it the way you want. You want to keep it at safe levels, as uncontrolled blood pressure can be fatal. So my prescriptions. First of all, please visit your doctor, as we talked about, to find out what your blood pressure numbers are, even when you're pregnant. Make sure your weight is healthy, as obesity increases the risk of blood pressure. Number 3, keep sodium levels in check. Stay under 1,500 milligrams per day. And as always, talk about eat healthy, stay active, and that'll help your blood pressure be low.
Is high blood pressure common in pregnant women?
It can be, but in general, it's common in Americans altogether. It is in pregnant women, relatively speaking, but 1 in 3 Americans have high blood pressure, increased your risk for heart disease and stroke. Many people don't even know they have high blood pressure because there are no warning signs. You don't feel it, most often. So be sure to get checked regularly and discuss the results with your doctor. But as we were talking about, people anecdotally say, well, I had a boy and my pressure was not high. The idea is not that your pressure will be higher than normal, but they took a group of people and they said this is the average blood pressure, but with boys it seems like it's higher, where girls it's not. And so I think that the next thing is why, and I think they're going to try to find that out.
But was that the same? So if you had a boy first and then a girl in the same patient, did the blood pressure change? Or are we talking people who just across the board had boys, they had higher blood pressure or lower?
She always has to ask the hard
Sorry.
questions. So this is just looked at in general. But no, she asked an important question because a first and second pregnancy is different. They just looked across the board and say that, if your blood pressure is high, higher than the average, then it's more likely to be a boy. But again, I think we have to do more studies to find out.
Let me guess, you're more stressed for the second pregnancy. Yeah. Just saying.
Boom.
I have a son and a daughter, and my pressure went up with both kids.
Yeah, yours did.
You were not pregnant, though, my friend.
It's a different study involved in that, sure.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nandy. Of course, if you have a question or a health concern for the doctor, you can email him, drnandy@wxyz.com, or send it to us on Facebook or Twitter.